Andrew's photo of you guys putting it up. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
I had an urge to make a replacement sign on Sunday. And then I had an urge to go take the old sign down on Monday. And I went up with the screwdriver.
So it's almost starting time.
Going, yeah.
Can you tell me another book tonight?
Of course, yeah. And the bank machine's working and everything. So, yeah.
Was,
Here, I'll give you this just so you have it in your
I'll
hand.
want you
have it.
to inscribe to the
So
girls
the,
I'm giving it to.
Oh, I'll definitely.
They're
Done it
across
like
the
3
hall from
Oh,
me.
fun.
And
I
then-
love it.
Touch
Oh
it,
my
just try
gosh,
and let
that's
the
so fun.
screwdriver-
I will definitely.
screws
I'll
in.
get everything started and then I will. Then I can
Like butter.
do more fun
Like, you know,
stuff.
when you cook the turkey really
Not
well,
that starting this is not
like
fun.
but
Okay.
the wood that was left up there just turned
Oh.
into like vampire.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Blues Brothers movie when they finally get to the courthouse, pay their bill, and the car falls apart.
It was more like
People saw it.
more like a vampire moment where it just turned to dust and blew away. Just crumbled.
Okay.
There's a real
No?
softness
Is that
to
on?
it that really gross.
Yeah, it does. Good
So, is it on?
Yeah.
Jess,
Yeah.
on the screen over
I got
there
it. Yep.
is a button that says invite, and
Yes.
Theo's being waited to invite. So
Oh,
if you go
okay.
live, and then you
Put it in the.
put it in the feed, yeah.
I don't know if everything is a real
What are you doing?
We'll be on the camera.
Oh,
My hat's going back and forth.
I got you.
Look like Wilson from the Tool Time Show.
It's just the hat. All right. So we are online on Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, and Instagram. And we are getting together for our 579th Rumble. So thank you so much for coming to that. If we could hit share, it is most important to share at 9 o'clock. But I think it would be nice to share now because we have lots of things happening in the gallery. And the more people that could see that would be amazing. There is Zach. Here's Zach. Hello. And hi. So I'm gonna begin. So we beautiful showing. Tayana has her work up on our wall here, and then I have some of my pieces up just to if you weren't
Don't
able
make excuses.
right. Rich helps me not make excuses. So my pieces are up at the front. Tayana's is up here. Really beautiful amalgamation of works. And she is able to be with us here today and next week. So we got to see her work before she heads back down to the east of Canada. Amanda, I hope you're feeling better. There's no worries. We hope you're feeling better soon. I'm going to begin with the land acknowledgement. Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on, Mohkinstsis, is the ancestral territory of the Siksika Sitapi, the Siksika, the Kainai, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutena, the Ithkabi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation, guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nation, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, and play on these lands and who now call this place home. So we are so grateful that you're able to come down. And please do try to make your way down if you're in around Calgary.
The power of showing up.
The work just has that extra pizzazz when you can see it in person. So we can see Rich is already working away. People are already working away on stuff. I'm going to start with the pieces of inspiration. And as I was pulling things together for the wheel, the cards actually landed. Let's just read it as the cards land. The sun.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just randomly pick 3 pages out of this book?
Oh, sure. So we have copies here. If anyone is interested in coming down, we got copies here. And Zach, I put yours aside. So you got yours. Yeah, I got you. And your piece from last week too. Your the print that you got. I got.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. All right, so first piece of inspiration then. Actually, that's perfect. I said the sun, and this one is X in my book. And she's the mother of 10 sons. She's a Chinese deity. The story goes that she had 10 sons, and it's like both SONS and SUNS, which is really lovely. But they're not only sons, but they're like three-legged birds made of fire. So I like how in
That's actually how my
mythology,
mother described me.
right? I like how in mythology how things are many things all at once. So
Get Theo
there.
the link. Theo was asking for the link.
I have it in the feed there. So Kelly and
I was
Zach are
asking
here.
if Theo found the link.
I don't know. Theo, did you find the link?
Kelly, could you email the link to Theo?
So
Yeah.
oh, thank you, was the mother of 10 sons. Each of them were three-legged birds. Each morning, one of the sons had to rise, but one time, all 10 sons ascended, and the world began to burn. Hui, the archer, shot all but one down and saved us all. Ji reminds us of the power we hold within ourselves. She reminds us how to wield that power. So she lost 9 sons that day, but she begged the archer to leave one of them alive, and that's why we still have one sun that comes up in the sky. The story kind of goes like that. There were a bunch of young boys, and they just wanted to touch the grass and they wanted to play around, and that's what happened. Is they're impulsive. Next, I brought my Persephone crown home, then I forgot it as per usual. So Persephone is our second piece of inspiration. Persephone celebrates both the light and the darkness, queen of the underworld and the springtime. There's a time to mourn and a time to glow with new life. So on top of the pictures of the pages of the books that I have, there's also these in between books pages that I wrote last summer. And it's like, I'll read one. I am Persephone, queen of the underworld, Hades' consort. I am so much more than that. The goddess of fertility and life, I'm the reason for spring and winter, new life and death, light and darkness, joy and sorrow. I have the white dresses, the greens and the blues for springtime, and I have the black gowns, the blood reds for the dark times, winter. My life is split between beauty and peace, between beauty and the peace of green in springtime and the macabre divinity of the underworld in winter. My home is Greece, and my home in Greece is the home of Demeter and Zeus, royal, fertile, bursting with life, flowers, fruits, orchards, children, laughter and music, singing and flutes. Wheat is my symbol, and so is the pomegranate. My home in the underworld is deliciously decorated with deep crimsons and indigos, minor chords and nocturnes play on the gramophone while skeletons dance. When the darkness comes, remember, a weaving has two sides of the same tapestry, the positive and the flip negative. Day will come, and the trick is not to wish the night away. Find solace in the darkness, rest, recharge, use different muscles, take time for activities of the dark. And then when spring comes, or morning, the shift will be refreshing. You'll be ready, and I'll be there with you. So, we got the 10 sons, we got Persephone, and I saw and with the other one, Grandmother Spider is the last one. So we got the sons and Persephone and Grandmother Spider. Grandmother Spider is always near when we need guidance or protection. Through journeys and adventures and tests and trials, between worlds, deep into the lower river, she is there. So we got Sunshines and Persephone and Grandmother Spider. So, oh, there's Theo. So we are going to make art, and we are going to make art for 2 hours, and then at 9 o'clock we're going to have a live auction. And yeah, I hope to see you down here. That's all. Did I want to say more? No, that's all. Oh, I took the book. did you have this fit open to this one?
There she is.
Okay. I'm gonna make you big. There. And okay. And we have 9 people online. And people online, if you are curious about anything, call us or text us or message us.
I didn't set my camera up at all today.
You did it?
No, how's it look?
It looks pretty good. You can see all your figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, it was $97 ticket last week. Parked across the street.
And you thought they took your money that time. I
No,
thought.
they didn't. But I sent them, I disputed it.
Yeah.
I said, I think you parked there 4 or 5 times. So
Yeah.
Part of it needs to be done.
And just
I got out of it.
Oh my
15
gosh.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, can you make that out to Harley and Stephanie?
Yes, of course.
And then write whatever you would.
Nice.
Perfect. Is it Kate? Do you know it's
No, it's CARLY
Okay.
and Stephanie, yeah. And they're, you own a well.
Rich, you took down that line.
You know.
What's that?
You took down that line.
PIE.
Well, I did.
Wellness.
I didn't want to be doing that in the winter.
Wellness, but you don't have to put that.
Too crazy. Yeah, there's another one up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I made an extra sign on the weekend, and then
No, but that's
They're-
awesome.
I went up there
they're very well.
to take the sign down, and I just touched it, and there's like one of those vampire movies where it just turned into dust as soon as I touched it. So it's
Oh,
Yeah.
so good thing it hasn't.
I live across the street, right?
Yeah.
And so for 10 years, I get up every morning and I get the binoculars. I look down the street to see if the sign's falling off the roof. And I took it down
Just 40 is fine. Yeah.
Monday,
Yeah, that is just fine.
and then so quite literally, yesterday was the first morning I looked out the window and thought, oh, the sign, I don't need to look anymore.
My daughter, my
And
Oh,
then
nice.
this morning I woke up and remembered
That's so
I don't have to
cool.
look to
Yours
see
is
if the
looking
sign fell off
pretty.
anymore.
Oh, really?
But you know what? There's been a number of signs that fell off and hurt people since we've opened. Not our sign. Like the building next door lost a sign, and that sign fell off from like the 32nd floor, and somebody else's sign fell off and hit somebody. So like it was in my mind that something went wrong with the sign, and somebody was going to want to see the permanent approval that I for my sign.
Right?
Oh, that's so fun.
So it's quite a relief to not have to worry about that permit approval.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So I might have misplaced that.
Sounds like you could sleep in.
Yep.
I'm gonna hide it.
And by misplace it, I mean
Go ahead, Jeff.
Earlier. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal your chair.
so there's certain things that you just think are a waste of time, right? Like
Holy crap.
we got written up for
Jeff, you don't have to do that.
for our
Okay, you're welcome.
liquor license early on.
Right?
What I really wasn't thinking about was we don't have the right kind of bathrooms for people to be drinking.
I made sure it was
Yeah.
we don't even really have good enough bathrooms to take care of the people that might be in wheelchairs that I really care about. So
Right.
there's lots of things that are like really important, and you expect a business to be able to take care of as a priority.
Yeah.
But we've been just cutting it so close for so long that there's a lot of priorities that just didn't get taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
So it was a relief to take the sign down. I have the pieces of the letters in the other room. I'm just restoring them right now
Cool.
because they're starting to fall apart as well.
Yeah.
The other live art sign that came down, I'm going to sell that or put it away.
Yeah.
So I got an offer for a pretty decent amount of money for that sign. it just wasn't necessarily going to go where I wanted it to go.
Mm.
So for the price of what I was offered, I'm gonna make one time available if anybody wants to buy it, and then I'm gonna put it in my storage. The live art sign and the letters for the Rumble I really want to hold on to, but I'm gonna offer that one up in the auction tonight.
Cool.
And the person that offered to buy it was really nice when I explained to them why it wasn't for them.
Ah.
But sometimes it's like it's just not the right fit.
I hear you.
But I could have used the money. It just wasn't the right fit.
So Rich,
Hello.
are you getting ready or leaving?
What's that?
You're leaving fairly quickly to.
We're all going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
It's in about a week if there isn't a strike.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
So,
I hope not.
Did I hear that right? You're going on strike?
no, I had my school went to Disneyland,
Oh, cool.
and my 11-year-old was like ready to disown me because I went to Disneyland without him.
Oh.
So when I was in Disneyland, my friend Kevin, who planned the trip for the school, can't travel by himself anymore.
Okay.
So I said to him, "Hey man, like you should seriously consider coming with me when me and my family go." Thinking that we'd go in like 2 or 3 years, or maybe at least a year after we shut Rumble down.
Right.
I got back to school, and Kevin's like, "I want to go back to Disneyland." And I just said as a joke, "We'll go book us a trip."
Right.
And he did. So then I called Jess up and said, "Hey, guess what? We're going to Disneyland,
Nice.
and we're taking Kevin."
Nice.
And it's pretty sweet because like he really does like have Disneyland figured out in a way that we never would, right? Like
Mm.
we are not those people. So
Yeah.
now like we've got Felix booked in to make his own lightsaber, and it's funny because Felix is 11.
Yeah.
And when I told him I said, "Listen, man, like I'm gonna get you to Disneyland. We got a lot to do with the gallery and stuff, so I'll try and get you there before you're 20." And he's like, "Oh no, Dad, I gotta go before I'm 15. Please, I gotta go before I'm 15." And we already knew we bought tickets, so.
Oh, that's rad. That's a rad way to start the summer.
Yeah, we tend to, like, if we're going to take a holiday, it's got to be in the first week of summer because there's so much to do. We always have to be back. So.
Yeah. One last summer. Oh.
Yeah. And we'll be back just in time to start setting up for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Hey.
That's exciting. I got a lot of work to do. Oh, man.
You
Yeah.
were on the same thing. Thanks.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness. It was a lot of awesome talks. I
I know there's a
felt
lot.
so bad.
Yeah, no, it's good. And then I just helped clean up and
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, it's good.
That is so lovely here. Oh my gosh. I can't believe they came
I know.
like the day before.
The day before, they literally showed up
You
yesterday.
wanted 2 more.
And I want 2 more.
Fun. Okay. How should we do
You
this?
want stickies? I'll just pay for the 2 bucks. and then-
Oh yeah, we can do that. Would you like? I have the bank machine.
That's half.
Oh, that's easy. Bam!
I know.
There,
So,
do you want to take this 37.50? What would be the easiest?
okay. Sounds good.
$75.
Jess, you want to-
I knew
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I will take it and then I will eat it after. Thank you, Galen.
$60.75.
There you go.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And then
Somebody wants a copy of The Goddess. If you want to check my phone.
why are there people saying rude things on this?
Okay.
Hold on. Wait. I'm just deleting
Why
some
are you
stuff.
asking me that though?
Hold on.
Who are you deleting?
Just deleting comments for right now.
Okay, so can you not do that?
Yeah.
You're not actually asking me why they're doing that.
Oh no, I was
You're
just
telling me
thinking
what's
out loud.
happening. You're not gonna block it.
I did.
Who was it?
Oh no, I did not. Oh, delete the last one too. I didn't get to the last one. Would you like to write names down and then? I was reading the bigger one there, and can we be? I don't know what they were saying. It was really nice seeing you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are open for 6 more months.
I work till day today and I work till day tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. Get some rest, especially after
She works all weekends and then
Yeah.
more work.
Totally. Go get some rest.
Food.
Food and rest.
Food and rest.
Am I in the thing? Can I be in there just writing?
I think you should read.
I will in a sec. I'm going to do this first.
No, I'm good. We just had
The-
way more food than I even needed at work for our goodbyes. Sorry, Galen.
How many times have you two been here at the same time?
Um,
Because I feel like you're both here all the time, but I don't see you overlapping. Did I say
I'm
that?
online more often than I'm actually here. Yeah.
Do you follow each other though? Like, do you know, like, oh, there's Galen's voice or Jess? Camera right there.
It's not planned.
They know what I'm doing. Look, if you come down, I will sign your book and I will look like this. I'm just giving you a preview of what you will see
What to expect?
if you come down.
You think that's way funnier than I do?
I think the people at
That's Keith if he thought it was funny.
Keith was funny.
Hey Jess,
Yeah.
want to buy the $10? I'm seeing this as $10 worth there. But
Yeah,
she has
that's-
gone.
Is Tayana here? She might just be out front.
No, I just poked my head out the door.
Here, you know what? You can have it and I'll take the tenner from you. Because I think she's moving to Ontario next week. So I would say I would love, like, that's very nice of you to support her, and then and look, she has more pieces. We can hang more stuff if she's gone. Which one? The beautiful.
$10 one, yeah. I'm seeing it now. It's
Yeah.
kind of busy.
white, but it was for my
It's
That
got
is-
the pink.
That is lovely. The colors are so powerful. Thank you. That's wonderful. I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, and I will tell her. That is wonderful.
Yeah, I don't look around and see her anywhere around. She like vanished.
Maybe they went to grab some food
Oh,
too.
could be.
Yeah.
She's got the Harry Potter invisible building clip on.
That's possible.
So, how was the last day with kids?
Thank you so much, Georgette. See
Easy to get
you.
a town close, that was it.
Did you?
And I booked a science thing, which was at the same time as the talent show as it turned out.
Oh,
We watched half of it.
Are you teaching science next year?
Yeah.
I'm teaching 2 science classes. They're high school 10, 14, and 24. So they kind of like science. I like to say for the sweat house, but I don't know if that's something that everybody thinks is as cute as I do. But maybe you and I want to sit down and do some science planning this year.
Planning.
Like thinking. We don't like to think. What are you, Andy, thinking?
You're thinking about planning?
Nah. I have to plan something because I'm doing I'm going out to Halifax in August because I signed up for a special program with Ducks Unlimited.
Yeah.
They're gonna give us $1,500 if we give them some
If you give them some what?
work. I'm hoping we'll build some beehive or something for our wetlands near our school.
Nice. I remember I was like,
We made beehives. You can ask Jess to show the pictures that we made.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
You just
like
have
the little bee houses?
the little bee houses.
Yeah,
with
they
the
were
little,
really
we did them in
cute.
shop. They're really cute.
Yeah, they are super cute. I'll send you pictures.
We'll see.
We haven't put them in yet. Our very sad garden. Like
It
like,
keeps getting cuter and cuter.
like $90 worth of plants dead. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna spend money better on that. But you know,
hey, you guys are semi-professional travelers, hey? Yes?
me and Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, we travel a lot.
What happens when WestJet goes on strike?
Well, right now they currently are not because they're in arbitration now.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that it won't be there. If they do, then WestJet has to try and find you another flight somewhere. And if not, then we get our money back, but it'll screw us over on Iceland because we booked everything else. I don't know. Well, I don't know
You get the
whether.
flight back, but you don't get any, like, we're going to Disneyland. I feel like Disneyland has, like, special guys that go out and straighten these things out. Like, there'll be guys in, like, matching motorcycles showing up at the WestJet head office.
When you want to,
July
Uh,
6th.
in theory, July
In
6th.
theory, if everything works out.
if everything works out. Well, right now they're not because we were just in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh God, if I can't make it back, that's going to be a problem.
How current is your news when you say they're not there?
So when we left for Nashville last Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday they had, or so Wednesday they started canceling some of the flights.
Yeah.
Thinking that it might happen.
Yeah.
And then they asked for arbitration.
Yeah.
And so as soon as they asked for arbitration, the strike threat came up because they don't want to do arbitration.
Right.
But once they agree to arbitration, then you can't go on strike.
I think
So-
they rejected arbitration since then.
But I don't think that.
There was like a new news that happened, like they might strike Friday.
That'll be awesome.
Hey, how are you? See, I can sign and talk to people at the same time. How's it going? Huh?
Need 3 pieces.
3? Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
You can put my books aside. I know
Okay.
where you work. so.
Okay, perfect. I'm doing quite well. I'm gonna finish this one. This is Tayana's pieces up on the wall, Scott. It's like
No, Keith is listening to us. Do you have sound on right now?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Keith, can you hear us?
Because he just sent me an article about WestJet.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it updated though?
Turbulent skies could be ahead. WestJet Encore pilots voted overwhelming. That's April. Dude, that's April.
No,
That's
we need,
April.
We need the June
26th.
26th news.
Yeah, I was reading it
What
and he
month
sent
is
me
it now?
something. WestJet received second strike notice within hours of returning to the bargaining table, targeting the busiest travel weekend of the summer.
When's that?
This weekend, the
Is
long
that really?
weekend. Yeah. Union continues to reject Canadian industry-leading agreement, which could have made WestJet the best paid in the country. WestJet on Tuesday received a second strike notice in the span of just over a week. The work stoppage could occur as early as Friday, June 28th at 5:30 p.m. in advance of the long weekend where there are 70,000. The thing about something like WestJet though is strikes don't last long because they can't, like they go under, right? So
Will the strike say, let's say it lasts a couple days, and then will they be a couple weeks behind?
no, usually what they do is they try and catch up on those ones. They'll bring in extra flights. They don't bump the other flights.
Okay. So by the 6th, everything will be straight.
I feel fairly confident you'll be okay by the 6th.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes it just is nice to
Fairly
hear that.
confident, yeah.
Well, I've heard a lot of people tell me not to worry, but they say it in a way that doesn't really sound like they're considering the situation. And you sound like you thought about it, and that I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I think that, yeah, especially the long weekend, like it's just too much of a impact on them. So
Right, like do the workers know that if they strike too hard, they might not have a job to go back to?
yeah, they're just it's like a big gambling thing, right? Like how far do we push and what will we get? And yeah,
No, because you have to have teachers. Like if teachers were to strike, you're going back eventually. Whereas like if they bung up WestJet hard enough, there might not be a WestJet, right? So when you have to provide a service that people can choose from, I think there's a different like.
Well, it's better than air chaos.
right.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
Their vomit bags are better for artwork. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
There's a rock artist who Nick Cave did the sick bag song, and he wrote a whole bunch of stuff on different airlines, like poetry.
Yep.
And he said, Air Canada, hands down, the best to write New York. Yeah.
You know what? I used to every time I flew, I would ask the stewardesses or the stewards if I could have an example of the info magazine that shows you how to put your head between your knees.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I always asked for that was I taught a media class, and I was always trying to explain to the kids how to create like images that told stories, right? So the narrative of those like wordless brochures were like incredibly useful to me as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always ask for one, and they looked at me like I was nuts and say, no way. And then they'd say, why do you want one? And then I'm like, well, because I'm a teacher and it's a good example. And then they would always steal me one every time.
Really?
So I would ask knowing I was in for a hard rejection. And then I'd wait for them to ask me why I wanted it. I got one every time.
Rich, did they teach you how to get underneath your desk in the case of a nuclear holocaust?
Never. Not in my lifetime. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah. Well, I think we are just like it was 1980 something. And it was in high school, so
Yeah, they're still doing that.
yeah. It's
Cold War's not over, baby.
We do lockdown practices
oh, that makes more
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. in case someone comes in with a gun or whatever. then
Yeah. How to
How to sit and spot, and I guess they went and did one at central office. They hadn't done it before, and there's a whole bunch of people there that had no idea. And the one police officer who was running it was very frustrated. Like, how are they supposed to know? They've never done it before, right? So our kids are quite used to it.
I had a situation where it was I just started teaching a little bit of phys ed, and the bell rang, and I was trying to get some kids out of my art room, and then as I was waiting for the kids to leave my art room, there was a lockdown, so I scuttled off the kids from the art room into the band room, and then I went trucking through the school to find my kids in phys ed. As I was trucking through the school, I passed the cop who was like, you're supposed to be locked down. And I just kind of nodded at him and kept running. And he's like, get in there. And then I thought, oh, he's going to be mad at me. And he came and told me I did a great job right afterwards. And I was like, oh, I was worried because I thought you'd be mad that I was trucking through the school after the lockdown was called. And he's like, well, technically you're supposed to lock down as quick as you can.
It's so beautiful.
And I said, yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, I understand the rules of the lockdown, but if somebody actually came into the building, none of my kids get hurt until I'm dead, right? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Shove things in the back.
like I go
It's a good
in
thing it's a
reality, I'm going for the kids, and nothing's gonna stop me. And he's like, you know what? Those aren't the rules, but I totally get you, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, I do too.
So he said, just between you and me, you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I should have protected myself. He said, and I was like, you don't know
I
me
think
very
I
well.
know what to do
Rich,
until it happens.
do we need to spray this or is this all finished?
Who's got it?
Scott Blaskin. He's here to pick it up.
Yeah, he can have
There we
it.
go.
Rich, you're like the best behaved badass there is.
Me?
Isn't it gorgeous?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Can I tell you my my zombie apocalypse survival plan?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So Robin's 30. She was 15 when I wrote this. So this is 15 years old, way before all the zombie apocalypse stuff.
Before it was cool.
She might have been like more like 13.
Walk outside and do this.
But I woke up at 4 a.m. one night realizing I didn't have a plan in place in case there was a zombie apocalypse. And what struck me was it didn't necessarily have to be zombies, but if you were in a situation where you and everyone you loved were hiding and you had to find each other, it would really complicate things, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't so much worried about zombies as I was like, well, if we're hiding from each other, or if we're hiding from the zombies, how are we going to find each other?
Yeah.
So I started texting Robin at like 4 a.m. to come up with the zombie apocalypse plan. And she was like, I don't know if she was sleeping, but she got up when I started texting her and like responding, like, okay, Dad, that makes sense. But I basically said, look, here's the deal. You're going to be at Western. Oliver was in grade 3 at the time. And he's like 21 or 22 now. So I'm like, I'm going to have to get across the city to get Oliver first, right? Like, you're in high school, so Oliver's in grade 3. I got to get him first. Don't take that the wrong way. She's like, no, I get that. I said, so if you're at Western and the zombies come, you get up that tree outside the front and you wait for me and don't move until I get there. She's like, got it, Dad. She's like, how long do you think it'll take you? And I'm like, at worst, 3 days. Like, because I'm not going to be moving around like on the C train or anything. In fact, I think Galen was across the hallway and I had this plan. Maybe not Galen, but if it was a day that I was on my bicycle, because I used to ride my bicycle to work.
Yeah.
Depending on whether I was going through the Weasel Head or not, I might just knock someone out and take their keys. Like, this is me thinking at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, well, if I don't have a car at work, I don't want to be a bad guy, but if I need their car, I'm just going to hit somebody and take their keys. And, but I basically told Robin, and no offense, Galen knows Kung Fu, so I wouldn't probably hit him first, but eventually I would if I was. And that's my thought is, like, you might stop me, but, like, not until there's nothing left, right? And so I told Robin, I'm going to come get you. If I'm not there in 3 days, I'm probably dead. So you're going to have to come down from the tree. Like, I don't want you to starve to death in this tree, but, like, I'll be there within 3 days. And that's how long I want you to stay in the tree. Unless they're, like, obviously, like, tree climbing zombies, and then there's another modular plan. But it didn't have to be zombies. It could have been anything, right? It could have been, like, Red Dawn or something, right?
The wheels come off.
Yeah. The only thing is, and this is sort of where it came from, is it's different where I teach now, but in the city, when kids run away from home, cops will just, they don't really panic. They just drive over to the kid's junior high school and pick them up, right? Like,
Yeah.
every kid that ever runs away from home goes to the playground of their junior high school.
Right.
They don't run away in elementary. They don't run back to their elementary schools when they have a fight with their parents. They generally don't go to their high schools. They show up in the playground of the junior high they went to. And that's the one thing I keep reminding junior high teachers is, like, when the kids break with their family, they come to you. Not necessarily you personally, but to the space you built.
Right.
So if, like, for instance,
May interpret a bit. I have a scenario where I have run from the house and I probably have go in the high school place.
Right.
That was the place where I go first.
That's the
time.
second
See?
place they'll
Yeah.
look. Yeah. First
Yeah.
place they look is a junior high.
Yeah.
Well, we use different terminology,
Words.
but
Yeah.
I guess it's the same thing.
I was 90% sure you were agreeing with me. Mostly because I'm right about everything, but that's not the point. So anyhow, Zach, let's just say hypothetically, you really love your parents, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something I know about you is you're close with your family?
Yeah.
If there were no communications and you were in hiding, how would you go about reconnecting with your family, like starting right now?
Yeah, I know. No plan, nothing. Yeah. Oof.
Right.
Yeah.
So most people would start out looking at their home and then their grandmother's home. Maybe there's a special park they might go to, but that also leaves a lot of like possibilities.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was that once you've looked at those 5 places, you're out of luck, right?
Yeah.
So I built a modular plan. And by that, I mean, here's step 1. I come find you in the tree. If I don't find you in the tree, come to the house in Killarney. Basically, it went like this. 20 minutes after sunrise every day is where we'll reunite at whatever place is the new designated spot. So that's better than noon because you never really know if it's noon or not. It could be like 1:15 or something.
Right.
And it's better than 20 minutes after sunset, right? Like every morning, 20 minutes after the sun rises, book ass to the place in Killarney. If that place is compromised in any way, I'll burn it down. I don't care if there's kids inside. I'll burn the place down, and that's an indication that that place
That
isn't
you've
safe
moved on.
anymore.
Yeah.
So if the place is burned down, the new place is 100 meters south. And if you get to a body of water, just swim through the water and start taking paces again. So I created this modular plan that no matter how bad things got, there would be always a way to trace each other.
Whoa.
At 4 a.m, long before there was a crisis.
Yeah.
Is there a crisis now?
Well, Robin's in London right now, so if there's a zombie apocalypse, we're not going to find each other.
Yeah, that's a long way to in the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was going to take you 3 days in Calgary, I can't imagine how long it's going to take you.
Rich learns how to sail in one day.
Build a ship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Build a
somebody
boat.
builds the ship.
Hey, we got lots of wood from the sign and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, 3 days, 3 days top.
Yeah, you know what though, Zach? When she moved to London, England, I remember thinking, well, there's no zombie apocalypse plan that's going to help us if there's a real problem. So let's say our goodbyes now, just in case.
See you never.
Well, and I mean, I think there's certain things you have to be kind of prepared for. Like, was it Haiti this year where people were like, they went on holiday to Haiti and then they might not get back.
Right.
So I think there are certain sort of like, I'd call them thresholds. Like, here's a threshold that we can come back from. And if you go to London and there's a crisis, we might not come back from that threshold.
Yeah.
Right. Not to say that I'd give up on her. I'm just not going looking for her. I'm not going to swim through the Pacific.
Yeah. That's a journey.
But it's when you don't have those plans in place that it really hits you. Now, that said, this started out when I was teaching a media class, and the kids, whenever I brought this up, were really gung-ho for creating survival plans. Sometimes they were like, some kids would want to do like, what if my house was on fire? Some kids wanted to do, we're going to the Ukraine this summer. What if we get separated? Like, well, not the Ukraine this summer, but like back then, right?
And this was using images to tell the story, like to get out, like a.
It's all the same class at different times of the year.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
The zombie apocalypse plan came up during the planning portion. So like it was a part of the class was about planning, and part of the class was about activating, and part of the class was about assessment.
Mm.
Well, when I wanted to teach the kids about planning, I would start with things like the emergency plan on an airplane. And then one of the other plans was to have a zombie apocalypse survival plan.
Well, you'd only have one problem going to London is you
The
might
ocean.
try the Atlantic.
Yeah, not just the ocean, but the sea
No,
monsters would be a bugger too.
It wouldn't work, probably.
Right. And that summer, I took the kids to on this big road trip, and I remember I was so tired, and I stopped at a campsite, and I was going for a shower. And on the way to the shower, I stopped and thought, well, maybe I should have left my keys in case there's an emergency. But then I remembered Robin, like on this trip, was like 12. I was like, well, she can't drive. What's she going to do with the keys in an emergency? But then I was like, well, what if Godzilla attacks and she doesn't have keys to the car? So I walked halfway back to the car thinking, like, I'm just going to get her the keys in case something serious like Godzilla attacks. You know, something that supersedes needing a driver's license. And I still dropped the keys off, but it was at that point I realized maybe I was being silly.
We still leave the keys in the car for the other person in case of Godzilla.
I know.
It's just a good.
I was
That's
talking
a good call.
about Godzilla today because I've never seen Godzilla. And he was trying to sell me on why it's a good idea to watch Godzilla. And I was like, I don't know if that's my thing. All of them, probably. Can you watch just one, or is it like...
I think you should watch Mothra.
Mothra.
Unfortunately, the only one I've seen was the one with Matthew Broderick, and that was back when I was doing T-shirts. And I have some like scar tissue because I had to make like Godzilla T-shirts for the worst Godzilla movie ever.
Is it okay if I interrupt?
Yeah.
This is a 7-year anniversary of us publishing. Rich and I published poems together, Awaken the Undertow. And also, Lorraine said that my book is up on Audible, and it's a joint. What is it? It's like a bundle package. You get the River Troll and the Goddess. Awesome. So
Nice.
it's like up on Audible, so that's fun. 2 fun things.
I remember when I was waiting for the River Troll to go up on
Just came up on my picture.
when I was waiting for the River Troll to go up onto Audible, I was like losing my mind. All the other thresholds were stuff that I could live with, but I felt like if it didn't get onto Audible, I would die.
You worked so hard too.
Yeah.
You did it twice. But like more than twice.
Yeah. Well, I finished it and I kind of got better at it by the time I was done the first draft, the first version.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lori's like, hey, I got bad news. We're going to have to do it again. I'm like, that's not as bad as you think.
Well, Jess, I would say your 7-year journey was an odyssey.
Well, isn't that crazy? Because it was like we put this out, and this was like something we put out, and that was 7 years ago. And then that's when I started working on the fabric one. Yeah, you're right. And I forget to like because I made it in like one, but then I kept like you said, the journey took all of that time before it came out. So.
Yeah, when I was going through it.
Are you gonna read for us?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Do you have a letter you want here?
Start with A.
P. No, wait, what do you want?
Do you want to read it
I
backwards?
did pee before. What?
Why don't you start at the
I
end?
did pee before. I read Persephone.
That one.
I wrote a book, yeah. I read Persephone for one of the
You
pieces of
start at the end and
inspiration.
work your way forward, and maybe you get through the whole
How did I know that?
Okay. I'm gonna interrupt everyone. Can I do it without the mic?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do one reading. We'll start with Zed. Start at the end. So this one is a beast tied with a chain to the Polaris. The Zariah sisters, the morning star, the midday star, and the evening star. 3 sisters that must watch the skies. There is a voracious beast tied to Polaris at the end of the Big Dipper. And if he were to break from his chains, he would devour the universe. So these sisters take shifts, looking out for us. They remind us that we won't be thanked for our hard work, but that we must continue regardless. So then last summer, I spent the summer writing these in-between pages. So it says, we are the Zariah sisters. I am 1 and 2 and 3, depending on the stories you hear of me. The morning star, the evening star, and the midnight star. We're always watching the skies. Smeargall is chained now, tied tight to Polaris, a death hound, the Griffin, a doomsday bringer, and it's our job to make sure he stays put. We take turns, rising from our sleep, watching vigilantly and returning to slumber when the next takes her post. The world will never know both the peril they were in and the reason the sun continues to rise each morning. Our home is beautiful, a sanctuary with Slavic gods and goddesses adorning our walls in paintings and tapestries and whispers. Our clothes are finely embroidered, dresses of fine linens, laces of fine silks, our hair done up with combs. Quiet is our music, for there's always a gentle sleeper in the home. No one visits. The scent of food always cooking hangs in the air. Onions, garlic, meat, when we can get it, potatoes, and dark coffee. The air is thick with history, expectation, tradition. Ours is a life of duty. Reflect, the triad, the triple goddess, the three fates, a concept that comes up in most cultures in some way, whether the maiden, the mother, and the crone, the past, the present, the future, truth, beauty, and love. Humans are drawn to the three, and each of us has all of them inside of us. Reflect on how these concepts are alive in your life. Reflect on the nuances that ripple throughout this book and throughout your story. What do you do in your life that no one will ever know about? Reflect on the tragedies that have been avoided because of your magic, your intuitions, your foresight. And then there's, oh, thanks. And then for each letter, there's like the reflect and then action and then a meditation. But I think that's a pretty nice.
I like Gaia.
Gaia?
Yeah.
That's good. G. Gaia. Where would we be without Gaia? She is the earth, all-loving, nurturing, intelligent cosmic force. Remember, your food is sacred nourishment. Your shelter and your clothes come from her and are blessed. We're just part of her divine garden. I am Gaia, Mother Nature, fantastic flora and fauna, green electricity, throbbing life, nature's alpha, primordial elemental source. When you walk through a garden, I am there. Highest mountain, deepest ocean. When you breathe fresh air, I am with you. The cotton in your clothes, I hold you. The vegetables on your plate, I nourish you. The wood that frames your home, I shelter you. My home is lush greenery, water flowing through the mists. My carpets, I take care of my pets. Every creature is my ward, everything in balance. Bees and birds are my music. Every morning, my ritual is to pronounce my gratitude. Throughout the day, as I feel flashes of gratitude, I say it out loud with ecstatic enthusiasm and joy in my heart. Sometimes I create new things out of this gratitude, poems, books, scarves, soup, bread, filled with gratitude. Reflect. What are your creations? What have you made? What are you planning to create? How do you protect your creations? How do you create a safe space for your creations? A space where your creations are valued? And what are you grateful for? Act. Create something. Bake a cake. Make a dinner. Paint. Sing a new song. Move in a new way. Create a sculpture out of clay. Create a video game or a character. Give thanks every day for the creations around you, for the ingredients we have around us, for our mind and our spirit, and the vision it takes to see what does not exist yet. Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Right. Speaking of creating, I have to go home and make cinnamon buns for the last morning. So
You are so our last Leanne cinnamon buns.
Well, we may get some in September. You're going to show up. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You bet. We'll see you tomorrow.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much.
You bet. All right.
What raisins are?
No, I just do the land and nod ones.
Oh, okay.
So
Land of Nod?
that's what they're called. They're just, you buy buns and you put everything in, you leave it there, you bake them. Everyone thinks you're a superhero.
It's true. It's true.
It's not, although I bake them inside the school, that's the key.
Hey, have you
'Cause
seen
it-
Had them when I was there,
Have you
because I've made them forever.
Have you seen inside?
I never go to the staff.
No, yeah, my son was waiting to
Oh, you
take
missed
me and I was gone, so
We go see it twice. If you're
It's-
looking for somebody to go with.
yeah, I can't wait. I loved the first one, so
It's so much better.
It's
the
so
first one was
smart.
good.
yeah.
This one's like there's a cute kids show attached to a very clever, thoughtful adult show, and then on a third level, there's like if you've been studying neuroscience, there's a really deep mind.
All mental health.
Yeah, it's really so like we all walked to just tell you we walked out like super triggered.
Felix wasn't. He was like, "That was amazing. What was your favorite character?" And I was just like, "Whoa!" And Rich, we all saw a different movie.
Yeah.
And then they locked the doors to the parking garage, and just went on to full blown panic attack. And I was like, "This is just like the movie."
We just watched this.
Let's psychoanalyze you while you're having a Let's see how that goes.
We just learned steps to deal with this. Ah!
Well, it was worse than that too because I was like, I can find the car if you stop freaking out, right? Because I was like her panic was like interfering with my ability to process. Of like, you can freak out or we can find the car. But
He's like, we're gonna have to do both. Because right now I'm not ready to not freak out. So
It eventually all worked out.
exactly. All right, I'll see you guys
See
online
you.
in an hour.
See
See you later. Have a good summer.
Yeah, you think.
Oh, and Kyle's here in spirit. That is so nice.
Plans other than Halifax then?
Oh, look.
what?
That one piece says "so below, as above, so below," like the thing on our coin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I wonder. Are any of these?
As above, so below. Is that Hermes? Is that our man Hermes?
That's what it says on our.
I'm gonna look up
666
who
days
said it.
sober.
I think it's Hermes Trismegistus or thrice great.
As-
On that Saturn tip.
Yeah, Hermeticism.
Oh,
You're good. Adopted a large part of Hermetic principles. Good.
How did you get into hermetics?
how did he get into it? I
You,
think he got it. I think he got it from Egypt. I got into it probably through. Probably like. I mean.
I thought for sure you were going to tell me it was a comedian you were listening to.
Oh, we lost him.
No, the inner comedian, the inner joker.
So
That's what Jessie always calls me, is the infinite fool.
I mean,
She means it in a nice way, though.
yeah, like just finding the joy in everything and laughing at all the chaos.
yeah.
Rather than like you're saying, like the best way to fight is to not fight. Like the best way
oh,
to
nice. No
get-
sword style. Yeah.
yeah. And then but like right, Rich, like the idea of being able to laugh.
I think the best way to fight is to punch in the throat.
Okay, maybe not. You don't have this.
Eyes and throat.
Go right
Get
for
the first punch in somewhere soft, cartilage, or
That's as above, so below. You know.
that's the one.
That's a,
One in the throat and one in the nuts.
it's all about balance.
The thing is, you can win a fight, right? But if you have to win all the fights, you don't have time to day after day be lucky. You got to be win all the fights by being vicious.
As above, so below.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm half kidding, but I'm kind of not kidding. And there's a couple things. One, my cousin, who was Welsh, because the Welsh have this thing for like social fighting, was only allowed to fight people bigger than him. But if kids were bigger than him, he was allowed to fight them. He wouldn't get in trouble if he got suspended for fighting somebody bigger than him. My mom had a different approach. My mom said, she had a thick Welsh accent. She'd say, Richard, you never fight. You never fight. You never fight. But if you fight, and I was like, what? Wait, what? You say you push him down and kick him in the head till he can't get up. And I was really terrified about having to kick somebody to death, so I often didn't fight because I didn't want to have to follow through on the after results of kicking somebody to death.
Right.
That seemed like a bit much for me as a young child.
Terrifying.
But that said, that was her advice: was push them down and kick them in the head till they can't get up. And I have this funny story. Oliver and I were walking down 8th Avenue past Bankers Hall, and there was this guy who was, I think he was a bike courier, coming out of this big steel door in a basement. It's one of those doors you never really see because it's not open to the public, and it only opened from the inside. I think he got shortchanged or something, and he came up to the door and he kicked it from the inside, and this big steel door flung open in the street, and it just whisked past Oliver's head when he was a baby. I saw his hair fly up in the air, and the door didn't hit him, but it came really close. And without malice, there was no malice involved. On pure instinct, I remember feeling my the tips of my fingers, almost like a palm punch, connect with his throat as I punched him in the throat. And I only really knew I punched him in the throat as I saw him sort of dripping down the doorway, wheezing. And there's no meanness. It wasn't trying to hurt him. Wasn't trying to teach him a lesson. He just startled me, and my hand knocked him out. And I remember thinking, like, I could go help that guy, but then Oliver will know I punched him. So we just kept walking as the guy kind of just like dripped down the door, and I hope he lived, you know. But it is a weird story because, like, I can't tell that story as though it actually happened. It always feels like I'm telling you a story about something that happened in my imagination. And if I get a phone from Calgary Police, I will just insist that happened in my imagination. If they crunch the math and somebody got punched in the throat to death on that block in that year.
Some super detective is still on the cold case.
Right? I do have a fear of like shooting my mouth off online and creating these kinds of problems. That's actually, again, how we got busted for the liquor license. I was like, well, when we were serving liquor, he's like, I'm watching the video on YouTube right now. You're holding a bottle and pouring it, and it's in slow motion. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did that.
That's not me.
I made a movie about us serving alcohol.
Yeah, it was an art piece. It's an art film.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I confess, I came twice half time.
You what, sorry?
When I first was coming, Lori and I were coming together, and we would get half gun before we.
Here?
Well,
I'm not bothered if people come in here drunk.
no, we had like.
If I don't know about it, it's not a problem. If they come
No,
in
we
here.
were like totally. No one would know. We weren't drunk.
Remember the one lady that came in?
Just tipsy.
And every time we went going once, going twice, she would go 3 times a lady.
Oh shit.
How long ago was this?
Like 8 years ago.
Oh, that's funny.
On the topic of people coming in loaded, she was like, Rich would be like, going once, going twice, 3 times a lady.
Would I have taken the bid?
Oh, that is funny.
I think eventually we learned that she wasn't bidding, she was just taking part.
That's the funniest. Oh. Yeah.
And then, can I say the other one where there is
I didn't invite any of these people.
Oh no, it was just like all totally independent entities. But this other time, this young buck was like sitting. We were doing the auction, and he just threw up so much in the middle of the auction, and the floor paint is still peeled off from where his stomach. he threw up so much, and it's like where the paint is peeled off the floor back there.
Oh no!
So good.
Oh, that's
I just
crazy.
yeah, just so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then we actually paused the auction. We poured bleach on it. We kept going.
Oh yeah.
I more don't miss the gorilla house where
Oh, wow.
somebody would come and tell me their girlfriend couldn't get out of the bathroom.
Right. That was
And I'd
always
be like,
good
well,
fun.
we can pick the lock. They're like, well, she's having a panic attack. I'm like, why can't she open to the door to the bathroom? When she got in there and locked it, like, what happened since she,
Yeah.
in the 10 minutes since she locked that door, how come she can't unlock it? And they're like, just help.
Help,
I kicked the door off its hinges twice and had to rebuild the wall with like
Oh jeez.
glue.
Wow.
It's so funny because it's like, oh
It's
yeah,
not funny.
we spin a wheel, we get 3 random pieces of inspiration, we make art. It's like we also have to do all of these other things. We're also like fixing bathroom doors, fixing the toilet when it gets clogged, cleaning up the throw up off the floor.
It's location.
Locating.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't know.
I don't
what
think it
is.
matters where we go.
No.
Trust me.
Okay, I think I'm done this. What do you think of it?
Oh my goodness.
Let me see.
I love her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're all there together. I love all the arms.
Is it too like
Like
cartoon?
it's not too angry.
It's not too cartoon at all. It's like they're all different versions of each other. Like, I mean, you know what I
How much time is
mean?
left?
Like, it's 8:05.
805.
Yeah.
And the owl, you even have
I
like,
have a very weird question.
What?
It's any,
Wait.
like, any of them
Wait,
is
wait, no.
pregnant?
Let's just talk about this, okay?
Well,
Yeah, but
When you say weird question,
hi Donna, how are you?
are you prepared for me to be? Yeah, a couple of them are pregnant. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
that was my question. If then
Yeah.
it's pregnant.
Yeah.
They're goddesses.
Yeah.
They give birth on the regular.
I was thinking that today. You see less. I saw a woman pregnant today, and I go, you don't see that. That's to do with you.
When I say
That's
usually it includes something that most of the people will not ask.
Yeah,
Like,
that's okay.
is anyone pregnant here?
Yeah.
Hey, Jess. Jesse,
Yeah?
is there still coffee?
Yeah, there is. I can use that.
Hey.
You look so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Okay, give me a second. I will pour you this.
Good.
Yeah, I like how magic it is.
Okay, that's one.
I like the levitating lady in the back.
That's chaos,
Yes!
isn't it?
And then Callie with her arms everywhere. Right?
They're all kind of.
They're all like, yeah. I like that. I didn't mean to be so literal, but it's like I see elements of everybody. I like her a lot. The face is so cute. Look.
I miss my heat gun.
Oh,
Go.
to heaven.
Heaven, heat gun heaven.
Is it drippy or
Can
can
I make
I?
a list of Godzilla movies I should watch? Should I start with 1950s?
I don't know
I'll
any.
be
Really? I thought you'd be the expert.
I've seen a couple, but I
Oh,
don't even know what they are.
Yeah, so long.
I love Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like ever since I was really little.
Godzilla, I've seen Mothra, I've seen
Yeah.
King Kong.
I used to love Godzilla because it scared the crap out of my sister.
They never scared me.
Like seriously delighted with her crazy.
My mom back in days of sanitariums, almost jumped into a sanitarium after seeing the blog.
Ooh.
Wow.
Like it really rattled her, and she was not recovering from that. So there was like some talk about whether Priscilla was gonna go to the farm for a bit. That was like when she was a kid in the 50s, I think. But she just said she just wasn't prepared for the fear.
Jason and the Argonauts was pretty scary.
Yeah, I like that
It's too-
one.
It's too interesting to be scary.
That's
It's
why
so cool.
Jason, my brother, was named after Jason.
Did you see that the sign is missing, Don?
Hmm?
Did you see that the sign is missing? Go look outside.
I did.
Go
I
look.
noticed first thing.
I found it.
It's not missing. It's not missing.
Short mysteries. That's what life's all about.
Mysteries.
Just the short ones. Just the short ones.
brief moments of unknown.
Quick mystery. Count me in.
When did you paint Bong?
On the roof.
No, the one on the roof.
Go look on the roof.
It's missing. So it's not
Outside.
on the top of the building, on the roof it should be.
Don't get hit by a bike in the bike lane.
Poor Donna.
Boom.
She does not need that. She does not need
You
that.
see that happen here?
But no, it's more like
me.
ding, 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 ding,
Me,
ding, ding,
yeah.
ding, ding, ding. Like, it's not the immediate boom. It's the irritation we cause to the people on the bike.
I'm obnoxious.
Sometimes we're like loading paintings and we're doing stuff, right?
How many people are with us here?
7.
7. Who are the 7?
Well, I see Theo, and I see Kelly, and I see Zach,
That's nuts.
What?
and
No,
maybe
that's
there's
nuts.
other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Isn't it?
The only reason why it came down is when Rich and Jess got married. Hello.
There you go. Yeah.
Was that somebody souvenir?
It's,
The sign?
oh, it's not. No, Donna, we need to be clear. We took the sign down. Poor Donna. You had her in half a tizzy.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
Somebody
Donna.
was stealing an archive of art.
Yeah, no. And we all, no, you are, I am so sorry. for
I don't
that.
think I could get anybody to carry that sign home, let alone steal it.
Oh, and Keith is watching.
Donna, are you upset?
I'm watching.
And I see
I'm
Keith.
okay. You see what I did? Hang on a second. This is what I did. Just because it's like shits and giggles. Oh no, I was like really. Hey, look at that face.
Look, Donna's not impressed. Who took the sign?
No, this is the. Excuse me. This is shit.
But knowing that we took it down, are you less upset?
That's all better.
Okay, good. Because I would not want your wrath.
Look,
That's really
I'm
funny.
on the verge of crying.
Poor Donna.
I'm in like on the verge all day, so don't worry about it.
No, okay. It's just today.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
That's fair. that's a fair statement.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I thought it was a celebration of fresh and exciting things.
Yes. We will be clear next time.
I probably won't be any clearer next time, but
This is what I booted up online. I have this really neat folder.
Yeah.
And I put that because I started this.
Yeah.
Here,
Oh, very cool.
and Rich gave me some orange paint, so
Nice.
And this one, this here. Okay. Look at Al. Look, he's all better. He's in the hospital for 41 days, and then he got discharged, and then he got sick, and then this is nuts. He gave himself food poisoning.
Oh,
And he's phoning me. He goes, I don't know what to do. I got him out of his apartment, and then we just kind of like were, just hanging out. He got so sick.
Oh.
I used to get food poisoning all the
And
time.
then, I put him in a cat. I went with him to take him home.
Yeah.
Just like he's my kid.
Oh.
And then I got home.
Yeah.
And I just felt so proud of myself.
You're like just taking care of Al.
Well, I hadn't seen him for I don't even know, forever, right?
Oh.
But anyway, look at this. We went. He got a pint of Guinness. Look at this face.
That is a happy Al. That is a really cute picture.
Yeah, I keep these so private, eh?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That is a very cute picture.
He's like, and then he says to me, he says, but he's got his phony bush hat because somebody stole his real one. I bought him an Australian bush hat.
What's that?
No.
Service?
Somebody
No.
stole it.
Just a panther.
Oh, no.
Did you see I took the sign off the roof?
Yeah, I did.
That's so
He's
nice.
such a great human being.
That's so nice.
Put up a new
It's
one.
nice that you are.
Well, I made the new one
There
on
for him.
Sunday,
Yeah.
I just had the
Look at
impulse.
this one.
and then just
I
took a
love
video
that
of me
so
taking the
much.
That's
sign down.
really sweet. That's a
And,
sweet picture.
She's like, "Wow, you have this sweet look on your face. I thought you'd be sad." I was like, I got up there right after I put the new sign up. I was gonna take some screws out and then gently take it apart,
This is the one.
and
with
I
the
just
orange
touched
paint.
it, and it's like, you know what, a
That's
really
very
well
cool.
cooked
Yeah.
turkey.
So fun.
So good with the blue.
Gives
too.
you
I'm still
apart,
doing
man.
it.
Yeah,
That's so nice. That's
it
lovely.
was like a.
So,
But
what made
I
you decide to
wanna
do that?
Auction this.
Well,
Oh,
I didn't want to be
nice.
taking that sign apart in December,
Yeah.
for one thing, right? Like that's more than I can handle
Yeah.
in the cold.
Look on my face.
That
I
was
don't
really
know what
funny.
made me make the sign when I made it.
You're so
I was getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was going
That
to
would
take
be
apart.
like
I'm
take
a
so
little
much
obsessed
effort.
with taking things apart right now.
Mhm.
And I was going to take apart
Oh, look, I'm
the
gonna
storage
cry.
space up at the front.
And beat someone
We have
up.
a friend that's doing like a film, and he needs some of that artwork. So I was like, got to hold on to that for a bit. And I was just
This
like,
is me
okay.
seriously
The big thing
crying.
is, when the dumpster's full, it's okay. But if the dumpster's not full, it's like I feel like I have an obligation to fill it right before it goes to the dump, because
Well, you pay for it.
Exactly.
well, it's not even that. It's that like I've been trying really hard to get rid of all of our stuff in a way that doesn't interfere too much with the daycare and the framer next door, right? And so if their stuff is in the trash and the garbage collection comes the next day, I'm filling the dumpster, right? Like I waited and waited and waited. I was like, I need to put something in the dumpster. So I wanted to get rid of this wood and ended up making a new sign for the wood so I'd have it when I needed it. And then it was just on my, you have to understand, like I've woken up
There we go.
every morning for the last 10 years, gone to the binoculars by my window
That's
and
right.
checked to see if the sign had come off the roof. Were you here? You helped me build that sign?
Yeah,
I don't
I
remember.
put it up.
So
That's good.
like the permit
Yeah, As long as
process
it works for me. Yes, we can hold it.
was you know,
Mhm.
I missed that opportunity because the sign up went up so fast that it was just like, you know, I was expecting that sign to last like about a month, and then I would get the permits all worked out and all that. And you know, 3 years later, it's like, I'm gonna have to build myself a proper sign sometime soon. And then, so every time it was windy, I was like, man, that sign's gonna come off the roof, and they're gonna want to see my permits after somebody gets killed by the sign. So I really had like stress and anxiety every time I got wind, and that sign has outlasted so many storms.
Yeah.
And you know, a piece of stuff came off the building next door, and I'm quite proud of the construction of that piece. But I was also a little like, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble if that sign kills somebody.
It's funny that you just grab it.
Oh no, I touched it and it was like a vampire movie. It just turned to dust. And most of it was like I could say vampire movie again, but I really don't have
My
words.
fence was kind of like that too.
Yeah, I just like
touched it and it fell over.
well, and the thing is, it was steady when I started to take it down. Right, like it went up there, and it was held together. I think I was telling Jess almost out of habit. You know,
I like that. It held
Mhm.
together out of habit.
and then so the part that was being held up was what was holding it together. So I made like 3 cuts in the sign, and then it just like drifted into the wind. So the timing was just right.
Yeah.
And the new sign, and then I have that one there that I restored, and I took the letters into the other room because I'm rebuilding those letters. I think those will be worth keeping. And yeah, there's a lot of big feelings attached.
Oh, Rich, you big softy.
Oh no, I'm super I'm so attached to the physical objects in this space. Like
I don't blame you.
there's like desks, and there was a desk that I made that ended up in my apartment. And I was just like so distraught that it needed to go to desk heaven.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
And this lady came to pick it up to put it in her studio, and I was so happy.
It was like. Oh, should I take it?
Yeah. When things get to
Like it was like that big.
carry on, you know.
Background, there's like 3 big letters on it. I think. Yeah. Okay.
That's what mother is like.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. You never know, so I was like, might as well. Coming through, so I just wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
It's gonna be at 7.
These
Yeah,
two,
pink.
what you did together? And then this one.
How much time is left there? Just
It is 8:20.
It's alright.
I know it is.
Yeah. It happens to all of us.
No, the thing is like
This is an accident.
lately I was complete klutz, so I'm like looking at this and I'm laughing.
Tell.
It's okay, it's me.
Yeah, that's okay. I hear you. I concur, actually.
Exactly.
That was beautiful.
If you can't celebrate you, who you gonna celebrate?
Jesse.
There we go.
Thanks.
If you can't dance, who you gonna get to dance?
Jesse.
I do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You should see her dance. Everybody's eyeballs fall out.
I want to tell everybody on the planet that I seriously can't dance and I'm too fat to fly.
No.
Okay? No, I've been saying that since I was like 12.
You can
Seriously.
fly if you want to.
Can I tell you something about being fat? Donna, are
Sure.
you ready?
Yes.
So, when I was a kid, I had this album, this Johnny Cash album, and it's become a major part of Felix's life. He just loves it. It's not even an album where Johnny Cash sings; he just narrates part of the album. Where what happened was Andre Kostanov or something took a orchestra into the Grand Canyon and on the backs of donkeys.
Hey, it's a mom.
And then they recorded a concert of what is it again?
The lure of the canyon. Wait, Scott just said about the Grand Canyon. I was like, we're talking about the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. So I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and I was talking to him about how like I really want to travel, but I want to travel like in time as well. Like I don't want to go I don't want to go into a situation where I get to New York and there's a Bath and Beyond where I expected the CBGB to be. I want to go to the New York in the 70s. I want to go to like
it's gone.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was telling my friend about this at work, and I mentioned that what I really want to do is go to the Grand Canyon, but I want to go to the Grand Canyon on a donkey. He's like, oh no, you can still go to Grand Canyon on a donkey. I was like, there's no way. And so I kind of lost my mind a little bit thinking that this was possible. And I bought one of those Let's Go guides to go on the way home from work. And
And he was like, oh, I want like a Helix, like a wizard. He was like, can this be my adventure jacket?
So what was I saying?
Well, about the donkey.
Yeah, so I went home and I got all the information. And there's a 3-day trip that I wanted to take.
Right.
You have to be under 200 pounds with your gear on to go on the trip for the sake of the donkey, which makes sense, but it's like also like kind of hard to take. Like, oh, I'm too fat to go on the donkey trip.
And at least one person comes back off those trips with a broken leg. One comes back with such sunburn that they can hardly survive.
Separated shoulders.
Oh yeah, man. Watch them going down. Everybody's happy as heck coming back.
Well, you have to win a lottery to book the trip.
Is that right? That's how it is now.
Yeah.
Same as the Galapagos. Like the only
People come back damaged from the Galapagos?
Yeah, it's limited tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it
Yeah.
just wrecks.
Well, yeah, the environment is the last vestige of
Well, and it was like
amazingness.
going to Europe years ago when you could say, okay, let's go see the Mona Lisa, and you walked up and you were within 6 feet and there's nobody else around, and you go to the Colosseum and Rome and wander all over.
Somebody smashed the penis off of David.
Yeah.
Now you can't go see David anymore.
Yeah. Well, when you could go across Central America by chicken bus, just get off on a like old school bus and get on the top. Away you go.
Aren't you glad you did some traveling when you could do it?
Yeah.
Like that.
I did go to CBGB's in New York,
I know, that really bothers me.
and that was something.
Well, and I'm getting a lot of that, I hate to say it, through the Rumble House. I'm getting a lot of people like, oh, I can't believe you're shutting down. I'm like, I can't believe you're just finding out. And like,
Oh, yeah.
Why haven't you?
no offense, but where you been for the last...
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying,
So
Georgie?
what about this that you can't wrap your brain around?
Yeah, you're not coming around that. Where you been?
Are you paying attention?
Well, there was I remember when Lloyd's shut down, and that was in the lifespan of Rumble House, and I was like, look, if you've been to Lloyd's in the last 15 years and you're really upset that it's shutting down, that's totally fair. But if it's June and you're just finding out Rumble's closing next year, probably means you haven't been coming around, you know, like.
Yeah.
And no, don't feel bad about that, like.
No.
But honestly, like.
Lloyd's? Did you go to Kelly's Records by Lloyd's?
Kelly's Records.
Do you remember Kelly's Records? Is right. Like,
I used to go
kind of
downtown. There's a spot in downtown record store that was in like an underhanging.
Like you had to walk down like 3 steps, kind of sort of thing. Was it like that?
On 17th Avenue, I think there's a sub shop there now. Kind of near.
Yeah.
Not too far from the Republic was a record store I used to go to.
Right.
And I also used to love a place called Hall of Magic.
Oh yeah. Our neighborhood back onto Lloyd's.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the far end, but we used to walk down there, buy records every weekend. Like 2 records every Saturday with our saved allowances and money made.
What was your favorite record you got at Lloyd's?
Kiwi.
He's asking you a question.
Oh, favorite record? Probably a David Bowie. Like,
Yikes, I forgot.
Nice.
maybe the first album I ever bought, which was Jethro Tull's Aquila, because it's the first record I ever bought.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
So
Very cool.
it doesn't get a lot of play these days, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
We were just watching Good Morning Vietnam
Right.
for the first time
Fantastic.
since the first time I was a kid when I saw it. But Good Morning Vietnam got me into Louis Armstrong and a whole bunch of other music.
Right.
I remember I was at my uncle's house in Vancouver, and I had a little Sony Walkman, and he saw the tape I had loaded was Louis Armstrong, and he lost his mind. He's like, "You listen to Satchmo? How do you know what Satchmo?" And I was like, I was kind of embarrassed to admit that it came up from watching movies.
Right.
But I really dug the soundtrack to Good Morning Vietnam, and I really dug the also at that time I think I was looking for the soundtrack to Animal House.
Right.
And for me, buying music was totally different because I was like a poor kid. And so like if I bought an album and I didn't love every song, it was like the end of my life. Whereas I knew like guys like Laurie Matheson, they had the knack of reading magazines and knowing what to buy. That I found absolutely mind-blowing. Because I couldn't read it. I can now actually. Sort of built the knack for like picking up a music magazine, and well, it's different now too because you can use YouTube and see if you like something, you know. But at the time, like just the pressure of buying a record and then finding out that I only liked one song on the record was just like so upsetting to me back then.
Yeah.
Okay, but my story goes like this. I was in the record store and I was looking for the Rascals.
Right.
You know the Rascals?
Yeah.
You know what I found?
What?
The Ramones.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like, but I think a lot of people bought the Ramones because they heard about them somewhere, or because their friends recommended them, or because they just knew they were cool. I was like, I think I was 12, and I only had like, I don't know how much, like maybe if an album was like $7, I had like $6.50. Like, I didn't have enough money to buy most of what I wanted.
Right.
And I remember I was like, I saw this Ramones album. It wasn't very expensive, and just these badasses, in their leather jackets that didn't fit them, and
yeah.
I bought the record when I got home with like I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and
You loved it, I bet.
Oh, blew my mind.
Oh yeah. I felt the same.
I really needed the Ramones to appear in my life when they did.
Right. I can't believe you brought up Good Morning Vietnam. You know I was.
We watched it last night.
Well, yeah.
So good.
You know when I was in the record industry, they gave us a Good Morning Vietnam like package.
Yeah.
With a hat, a fake grenade, you put a cap in.
Right.
And all these like assorted things. If I would have kept that intact, that thing would be worth a fortune.
Did you know the Beach Boys? The reason I ask is because our friend Peggy was in the record industry around the same time as you, and she ended up like dating most of the Beach Boys.
No, I gave the tickets to. I had Rolling Stone tickets even in Vancouver, and I gave them to friends.
Right.
Because I really didn't feel like watching them from a gazillion miles away.
Right.
It just seemed like senseless.
Can I tell you the worst concert I ever saw was John Fogerty? He was great. He was great, but it was John Fogerty and John Mellencamp.
Oh,
It was
so-
John and John about 20 years ago.
Right.
My friend put me up last minute. There's like no expectations. He's just like, hey, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to go to this concert? I was like, yeah, sure. And I wasn't dying to see John Mellencamp,
Mhm.
but I was excited to see John Fogerty. And it turned out that John Fogerty was opening for John Mellencamp, which seemed really backwards to me.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Fogerty belted out every song as it was the first time in his life he'd ever heard it or conceived of it. It was like so phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Mellencamp was like just nailing it in. It was,
Yeah.
he'd sing one line, he'd hold the microphone up to the audience to sing the next line.
Oh, great.
And I was like, just like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah, that's.
But it changed my opinion of both those guys.
Yeah.
I also remember going home after the concert and wanting to pull out Creedence.
Right.
But
Seriously.
I couldn't, because I think sometimes you hear an album so many times that you can't really hear it anymore.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Well, one day.
It's my salvation is jazz, because I don't ever get like, there's no point where I can't listen to Miles Davis again. It's like I can listen to it over and over and over.
Right.
Whereas like, if the Beatles, even the Beatles, if the Beatles come on the radio, I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
But if I try and listen to a Beatles album, it's really difficult because I stopped hearing the sounds.
One night at 10 o'clock.
I don't find it bad you wrote.
Hey Jess, can you get those hooligans at the front to be quiet?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll get right on that. You'd love what we're hooliganing about.
What is it?
Here, tell him your plan.
Okay. I was looking at that Rumble House sign.
You went up to your fence?
Well, I was thinking of for the garage, but you're right, it doesn't fit. And then I thought,
It'll probably fit.
that would go on my fence.
Yeah.
But we're thinking on the outside
Like towards the highway.
towards Nose Hill Drive.
Right. Now, the only thing you have to be considerate of is that what somebody might think you are the Rumble House and like throw rocks at your house. But for the most
They won't
part,
throw rocks at
for the
my
most
house.
part, people,
Oh my God, it's moved, and then they'll start coming on Wednesdays, and I'm gonna have to turn them away. But
Don't be high.
do you want the wooden Rumble House sign?
I was.
Did she show you that I'm restoring
I
it?
will start coming to your house expecting cookies.
You're gonna have to
and
sell it,
cookies,
see,
right?
you were
You're gonna have to sell it to your
there.
family.
Are you talking about the Rumble House sign or the live?
Cookies,
Yeah.
cookies
Are you
on
talking about the
Wednesday
Rumble
nights.
House sign or the live house art sign?
The Rumble House.
Oh yeah.
But we were thinking just put it up on the fence on the outside.
Sure.
But Gary would notice eventually coming up from work.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't notice
Well,
stuff.
somebody really pissed me off.
Yeah. Ding, ding,
Your
ding.
gallery.
It's
My alley
okay.
gallery.
It's normal?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You don't know
I
about it?
can't believe it.
No,
On my
what?
phone at home.
My entire back
It was
fence.
low, so I
to the
thought
back
I'd just
alley.
plug it in for half an hour.
Oh, you have
Three
paintings.
8-foot panels.
Like
8 sections of fence.
Well,
Okay,
think of
where
it
do you
as
live?
well.
Of paintings.
I
Where do you
never
live?
use my phone.
I don't know.
In Wildwood.
Where?
Wildwood, just off 45th
It's
Street,
saying-
Boat Trail, roughly
Oh,
speaking.
Wildwood.
I should get used to it
Well, I'll
without a
frequent
phone.
all the alleys in.
There used to
I
be a
have
time when
to.
Two
were the
Felixes
thing.
are on my
Yeah,
fence.
exactly. Oh, okay. You know what?
No, I'm not married to.
Went to
Really
real
still.
I live on my phone. It's like it's my job.
2 September.
Well, most
They
people
have
do. I
that.
mean,
In all of their alleys, in all of, like, the whole town, beautiful paintings, beautiful.
well, it's raining, so it's in there.
Here, they're
Ding,
starting,
ding.
but
I'm
that's all.
ignoring it
Because
because
that's-
that's one.
you know what?
Honestly, it was-
Now you're just giving me an idea for
It's
more
dangerous.
space, because I'm running out of
Won't
walls.
be denied.
You can't spend
Spray
hours
the heck
having
out of all the
conversations
stuff
with
and
me.
just
if
glue
someone
it to the
wants
fence.
It's like, you have,
No,
what do you spray
reasonable.
on it?
I'm saying,
Lacquer or
I go
something, just so it gets
would you
protected.
just listen to my
Go
text.
to Canadian Tire and buy that,
And then it's sort of like
clear
what I just said, well,
acrylic
can you please
spray.
just wrap your brain around what?
Is it lacquer?
Yeah.
What, just?
What's
It's
in-
it's not,
Is that-
Krylon is the expensive one, and there's
Yeah.
a
I'm
cheaper
saying,
one that
yeah, I'm
goes just as
saying,
well.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
There you go.
It just seals it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway.
Well, and it won't last forever, obviously.
Well, you know what?
So some of mine have been up there for 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the Rumble House sign?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, we're talking about her paintings in
The
the
last
alley
one, like,
behind
Oh,
her
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I had a,
Because the Rumble House sign, I'm currently, that's what I'm doing with it. Did she show you? Like I'm rebuilding the
because I had that,
restoring it really.
remember that painting on my bench?
Wow.
It's at the
Well,
front
this
of my
is so
house.
irid-
I
it's
didn't
not
seal
so
it, I didn't
iridescent.
put it in, and it just sits there because it's sort of up and it's a big painting. But it gets snow and I don't want to sell it.
They're
And
built
it's still
for
pretty
resilience,
good.
yeah.
Supposed to be there forever.
What I was planning to do if I hadn't now gotten past the point of doing these kind of things was painting that whole garage, and it has two of the metal doors, you know.
Yeah, two, yeah, we have two doors.
Yeah, and they're rusty and all that. Well, then I actually got the stuff to scrape the rust down, put the primer coat on, and then I wanted to
I
paint
do want to see.
the tail end of a car going
What's
in
your
and the
name? My
front end
name's
of a car
Scott.
coming out.
Scott. Scott. Oh, Donna.
Oh,
That's a really good idea.
okay, my get up and go.
You're got up and went.
Exactly. So I can't do that, but I still, I can still put paintings on the
Well, I
fence.
thought it was coming from there, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's right.
No.
I counted the other day, you can fit
There you
53
go.
pieces on the fence.
How many?
53.
Oh my.
It's got 17.
Do you have them on Google Maps, like what you have done there? Do
Sorry.
you have them like get the address or you have done it?
No,
Give me
it's
some
just,
space.
Yeah.
if the artist signed them
There
on
you
the
go.
front, then their name is there. If they didn't, they're out of luck. And I used to tell people when I bought stuff here, you better sign your darn stuff, because if it's really good, I'll claim it's mine. And if it's terrible, I'll deny it.
It's somebody else's.
But, so some of them have signatures and dates and stuff, and lots of them don't.
I mean, wow, I don't think that's happened in my life.
But,
What's that?
I don't think that's happened in my life.
and
Okay.
then there's the little
You
artist.
gave me a good idea.
Well, but I don't have an alley. But he's already claiming the space above my garage, this big space. They brought this gigantic
Circle canvas.
circle canvas. I'm thinking, okay, I have a canvas on my dining room. Maybe I'll move that and put this one on the. I've got stuff on
It
the
could be
ceiling.
like, who's that guy? That paints the horses. He has a studio over in Inglewood.
Van Ginkle?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
and he has, some of his paintings are so big, they're on the ceiling.
Oh,
Because
that's-
there's
that's
no wall
this one.
space.
Yeah.
It has to go on the ceiling.
Wow.
Anyhow, we all do what we have to do there.
Exactly. Jesse,
Yes.
where's the payola place?
Oh, over here. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I should have just walked out.
Come with me. I know where you live.
Wow, it looks like it's on the door. That's-
I know.
So this is right now, we're doing this
Okay.
at, okay, December 14th at 4 in the afternoon.
Oh.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
one, okay, it's
Just on my apron now?
Right.
this one,
Let's see you painted all of these, right?
yes, this one
Oh,
is
God.
Matisse, that's why I got my nickname
Yeah.
Matisse.
Oh,
You go public
Yeah,
with this?
and
that
this
doesn't
one,
look like.
You go public
This
with this?
one
Well, yeah, it's public,
is-
it's full, but.
Dragonfly Woods.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I love that painting, it makes me feel so good every time I look at it.
Yeah.
Because I just wear it here.
Wow.
Saves my clothes, right? And but
So cool.
people, they want their kids.
It's beautiful.
And so I'm wandering around here, chatting with everybody.
So those two ones, I kind of trade them off.
You know what?
Matisse
saying?
and
Yeah.
this one, and that one's gone, okay, and I just, I put it before my bookshelf.
Right. Okay.
And another one I put up,
If
which
you
is
see
really,
something
really
else,
pretty.
it's your problem.
That's your problem.
What I've done too is that I have a folder.
I see a good portion of love, you know, that's what I
It's
see.
To tell you
what
funny,
it says, and it has email
I
address.
used to go to Arizona for the
Where?
winter.
Okay.
Cool.
And so I can't talk to
And my
anybody.
friends, are so proud of me for doing it, because they were filters.
So, yeah, and I love the room.
Doing these
Yeah.
paintings.
There's so
It was a kid,
Wow.
wow.
Very well done.
Cool. And they came
was sort of a partition between us. But one day, this man came.
So this is Tayana's
See
stuff.
what we-
What do you think of this?
Oh, that's a good tiger.
It's Bagheera. He's a panther.
Bagheera.
He's a panther. He's not a tiger. Just as you know.
And look, Rich painted all of the goddesses all together. Oh. I like this one. She's a cat. And I like this one. She's levitating.
Bagheera.
Never bothered us again.
Bagheera the panther.
And then look at all the ones he did this week.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw some of them.
Let me show you how he's done.
And then there's
Oh, who's the guy by the sun?
that's Icarus. Yeah. There's also this one, which is really cool.
And 9 seconds long.
Wow. How long does it
Skeleton.
For what?
No, actually, no.
Hey, I'm gonna pop out for some fresh air. I'll be back. Yeah.
We're gonna book.
I think we're gonna go off too. So we'll see you at 9 o'clock.
See you in a minute.
See you. I'm gonna, yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Theo.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Find us at 9 o'clock.
Freehand, but then I wanted a 45, right?